Can you help me?
Madness, madness.
Where's Batman? Fuck Batman.
Good evening, everyone. It's Nick here speaking to you from 2019. So, Happy New Year! It's been a while since I did a video review, and this one's going to be based on the new Titans, which hit Netflix on Friday, today being Monday. This, of course, is DC property, and it first came out on their own channel, which was on the October the 12th, that's right, and has an entire full 11 episodes. I believe it was supposed to have 12, but it ended up being 11, which is a bit of a shame, but we'll get to that a little bit later. So Titans, I have no idea about the actual property. I have not done any reading of the content, so the canon is completely new to me, which I think is, if you, like I say, if you're a fanboy, you're not going to enjoy this review because this is coming from a very non-fanboy-ish perspective, okay? That being said, I still watch The Flash, I still watch okay, no, I lie. I don't watch Arrow. I still watch Legends, and of course things like Agents of Shield. Of course, that's on the other side of the world with Marvel. But yeah, let's see Titans. So, what did I think of it? Well, you have a stellar cast over here, okay, which is basically led by Brenton Thwaites. Now, he's a very cool actor. He's very pretty boy kind of thing. So I was a bit concerned when I first saw the trailer when he says, "Fuck Batman."
Fuck Batman.
That he might be just a little bit too pretty, but he does a damn good role, very good job in playing Robin. Of course, Richard Dick Grayson here, very, very good. He is a broken person. Batman has basically fucked him up, which I can completely understand. I mean, you take a kid who's lost his parents and turn him into a weapon because you have your own issues. Yeah, that kid's going to be fucked up. So you basically start off the story with Robin having run away from Batman because he wants to try and get his life back, and he doesn't want to be a raving homicidal maniac, which he kind of is. And you see that in the first episode with him kicking the crap out of people and yeah, being kind of sadistic and almost torturous in the way he does it. This is the reason he's left Batman, is that he wants to try and, like I say, get this rage under control, and he's definitely not in control. So along his ways, shut up phone, along his ways, he meets up with excuse me, Raven, played by Tegan Craft, I don't know, 16-year-old sort of character. And her, I suppose, her place in the world is also unknown. She's running away from a mysterious organization who are after her. She has serious mojo powers that she releases when she gets angry or when she feels very emotional. So she's not in control there, much like Robin's not in control. You have these sort of two main story arcs which run throughout the entire show. And along the way, we pick up friends like Starfire, played by Anna Diop. This is what I was saying earlier about the fanboy thing, is that a lot of people are very angry that a black actress, an African-American, is playing the role of an alien who is a luminous yellow. And people are complaining about the casting. Where would you cast something better than this? Can you walk down to the Walmart and find a luminous yellow alien to play the character? No, you can't. Anyway, it makes a lot more sense to have a black person, you know, from Earth walking around in the show, because the show's not called fucking Starfire. It would have to be called Starfire if you had a glowing yellow alien walking around the streets, not E.T., you know. So anyway, the show's not about her. I hate to say it, but back in the day with comic books and stuff, a lot of logic was suspended there, okay? So anyway, this makes a bit more sense to have her look like a real human being. And she's bloody good too. She's got the best lines in it. She's got some seriously crazy clothing. There's a reason for that, don't worry. And yeah, she's just kick-ass generally all around. She's also then joined by Beast Boy, or Gar, by Ryan Potter, who doesn't really get as much airtime as a lot of the other characters, even other characters who are not really main characters, like more recurring characters, like Dove and Hawk. Dove played by Minka Kelly, and Alan Richardson, who plays Hawk. They're really great characters. One of the negatives in the show is the inconsistency, though, with the humor. And with those particular characters, you start the show with them. Episode 1 opens with Hawk sort of tied up, being tortured. And even though they're being tortured, and there's a lot of gore porn in this, not quite gore porn, actually. I'll take that back. But yeah, I mean, you know, he's the henchmen are said, you know, told to cut his genitals off, and they look at each other like, "What the fuck? Like, that's going too far, man." But that kind of levels out. That humor disappears. It spikes every now and again. But when I first watched it, the first episode, I was like, "Whoa, this will be quite cool if we can keep this humor going." It doesn't carry on going though. So yes, anyway, we have these characters who are thrown together. as I said, we have Raven and Robin, who are the main sort of protagonists in this, and sometimes they disappear off and do their own thing. Like Robin will disappear off, and we'll follow him and see what he's getting up to while we leave the other team behind, the Titans behind. And sometimes we will go off with Raven and see what she's up to. A lot of people don't like that. I don't think they say that it's sloppy storytelling. I actually like it because we get to see some character depth and some sort of character creation and motivations behind them. You also have world building. This does not take place in Gotham. It doesn't take place in the place that you know. It's all over the place, and so I think with that it helps, especially when you have crazy like nuclear families hunting them. There's this nuclear family that has obviously a husband, wife, and two children, and they're sort of very Stepford wives. They're like, hey honey, hey husband, and hey kids. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, they're actually assassins trying to kill our heroes, and they're complete lunatics in how they do it with a smile on their face. So yes, you need a sort of world creation, and I don't think you can do that if you trim the fat, as it were. Just going to be talking quickly about the goreness, as I mentioned. A lot of people do talk about this right now, but you guys seem to be forgetting that season 1 of Daredevil was very, very gorish. Season 1 of Punisher was extremely gorish, and season 2 of Punisher 2. I'm sorry, but watching Vincent D'Onofrio's character, Kingpin, decapitate someone's head in the door of a car, that's pretty fucking gorish, okay? That doesn't even hit, that doesn't happen in Titans. It is very gory, almost to the point where it's like Sin City, so it's not realistic gory. It's over the top. It's that sort of gore, like, it doesn't really make you feel, what the hell? Whereas something like Daredevil and Punisher certainly does leave more of a scar on you because you actually, it's intense. Another thing here, of course, is the swearing in it. This is a, I don't know, 16. I'm actually not even sure what it is, but they say fuck all the time. Not all the time. That's a lie. They say it all the time compared to any other show because there aren't any other superhero shows that use the F word. Sometimes it does come across as being a little bit contrived in how often that they do use it. But I don't mind that actually. If I was in those situations, I'd probably drop the F word a lot more than them. So yeah, so we have that. This is definitely also a setup for Doom Patrol, which is coming because of characters that you've already seen along the way. I'm not going to mention all the other characters, but there are lots of sort of not teasers, but we get to see sort of silhouettes of Batman and a little bit of Batman, a little bit of Joker and stuff like that. But they don't take away from the the actual roles of the Titans, which I think is good. Very good thinking there too. They're between 40 and 50 minutes long. There's 11 episodes. That is one of the reasons why I went from 8.5 down to 8, because it does leave you on a very big cliffhanger. And I'm kind of grown up now enough to not appreciate cliffhangers. This is not like Under the Dome, for goodness sake, where you need a cliffhanger. I'm kind of used to, and maybe that's the problem, maybe I'm just long in the tooth, I'm used to shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. finishing one particular story arc and then generating another one in the last episode that would then take you through to the second or third or 15th season or whatever it happens to be. So this one over here definitely leaves massive cliffhangers. I like the direction that they're going. I particularly love the last episode. Really would have worked if there was another episode afterwards, which apparently they did originally plan, but they didn't go ahead and do. So yeah, I think it does have some of its downs, as I say. Oh yes, and of course the CGI. I felt very sorry for old Beast Boy, morphing into a green tiger, and he only manages to morph into one type of animal in this. Because he's still learning. This is the first season. The CGI is horrendous. I'm sorry, it's really bad. And I don't know how they can justify this. I mean, this is DC, for goodness sake. You've got money. How can you have terrible CGI like this? I mean, really? I suppose we had the Superman problem, but there were reasons for that. It's terrible. Some of the scenes could easily have been swapped out with choreographed stunt people, but they decided to use people in CGI jumping over trucks or whatever, and it looks horrendous. So I was a bit disappointed with them. But taking all that away, I think it's absolutely binge-worthy watch material. I give it an 8 easy out of 10, and DC have done a damn good job here. They've done something that the movies have not been able to do, and strung together sort of 11 hours worth of content that's worth watching, other than the CGI, of course. At least the story in this is gripping compared to Suicide Squad. But anyway, tell me what you think about this. If you have issues and gripes with the black lady not played by a yellow lady, please don't bother leaving comments. Cry me a river. And I'll see you guys soon. See you later.